Everybody say hi to YouTube and make fun of Snacks for having a broken dryer. Little dumbass. Just put it outside, dude. Hanging on a line like a normal person. Anyways, patch notes, Richter skin, overprime skin. I hope that has the VFX. The VFX for this skin used to be sick. I hope they keep the VFX. Drongo, sure. Crunch skin, sure. Victoria's bundle. This is the PCC bundle, like esports bundle. It's just recolors for certain skins, but all the proceeds from these skins support comp and like tournaments and stuff. Hello, chef. Just some other bundles. Bundle cores, which give no duplicates and have a small collection of content. ARAM Battle Pass XP changes, increasing the amount of Battle Pass XP gained from ARAM by 60%. PCC, starting on the 13th and 14th. I believe it's 3 weekends. Asking for VFX is too much. True. I might actually be able to see if they do add VFX. Crazy. Um, hello, Dino. No, I hope it has VFX. The VFX from Overprime are really good for that skin. So I hope they carry over. This is like a separate supporter thing. So you can specifically donate to PCC directly. And if you do, you can get this emote from doing that if you don't like any of the bundles or anything. That's the only way to get this emote. Which looks like this in game. Not sure what that says. Anybody read that? What does it say? Better not say kill or hit. It says death. Okay. How dare it say death, bro? I'm offended. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna balance. Hyper scaling for various heroes. Um, Tower durability and damage, meaning durability, hunt damage increase, monster durability increased. Buffing mages and bruisers. I would say they're probably the two weakest classes right now. ARAM changes. Okay. Um, Hunt increase from 500 to 600, and then 1,000 to 1,200 when it's finished. I assume this is just to make it so you don't get outspited by abilities, but I think that's kind of a lame change. But yeah, I feel like various characters being able to also have a strong secure on an objective is actually like a good thing. I think maybe it's a like junglers guarantee always have the highest is kind of silly. I think if you draft a character, that should be a strength of the character that you drafted, like Kira Q or Gideon Q, and he has the HP damaging on it, things like that. Cyan, um, less HP but more HP per level, so just it's going to be tankier in general. No longer scales past level 11. Okay. Gold buff also doesn't scale past level 11. Most camps in the game, I
Yeah.
believe, only go to level 11 right now, so this is just like even with all the other camps. But because it doesn't scale as fat, or I assume it's like the same overall, pretty much. Increasing their durability from level 2 to 11, but I mean, it's not like a relevant amount. It's like one auto attack. Fakes, thank you for the 2 year sub. I appreciate it. Welcome back to the Birdnest, man. Thank you for the resub. Blue buff, more HP. It's just to balance the hunt change. Just 100 more HP on all these camps. Irrelevant. Towers, health increased by 800. That's kind of a significant amount. Damage increased as well. Very much increased late game. Oh, what the fuck is that? 404. Let's not right click like an absolute bot. My ADHD is kicking in. Oh no. Towers do a lot more damage. Inner towers do even more damage. 522, much higher than 422. Also scales per level, which is pretty thick. Inner towers had less HP than outer towers. I actually didn't even know this. That's fucking silly. But okay. Um, Inhibs have the least HP. Also, like again, that's kind of weird, but sure. I actually did not know that. I played the game for 3 years. I didn't know that. Minions, melee minions, slightly tankier. Execute threshold increase though. Okay. Range minions, same thing. Siege minions, same thing. I wonder if this changes how many tower shots it takes to kill minions. That's like the only thing that, but like they also increase tower damage, so I don't know if that offsets that or not. Like I'd have to do the math, and I don't want to do the math right now. Super minion, more HP. Super minion damage increased. Damage up to core and inhibs lowered. Execute threshold increase, so it will be not taking your bases hard, which I think is kind of lame. Vermis, fix issue where the damage could trigger spell shield effects. Okay. Vermis deals an additional 4% targets missing health damage on activation. Um. Okay. This is for the crit damage, or the crit, whatever it's called, Vermis thing, where your crits like increase the Vermis damage or whatever. Cauterize, taking damage from a passive ability grants you health regen. Okay. It was only dot, so now it's just anytime you take damage from an ability. That makes it significantly better.
I'll take the whole team, bro. 5 guys, that ain't nothing.
Holy shit, Goth. Thank you so much for the 20 gifted subs. Holy fuck. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Could we get some meows for Goth in the YouTube comments? WW Goat. Actually, Goat. Thank you so much for the 20 gifted. I really appreciate that. Holy fuck. So I wish I had a little bit more energy. I'm literally waking up. I'm fucking trying to chug this Red Bull. I'm fucking late today. I'm tired. I'm so sorry. Thank you for the 20, dude. I really appreciate it. Okay, back to patch notes real quick. Breach will increase the duration for the shred. This is like shred on your ultimate. Subsurface AoE damage reduction reduced.
Guys, Sky Splitter is going to be meta on Wargesh and Countess. Make sure to build that in all your games. They will be so overpowered with Sky Splitter.
Marrow. Base attack steal initial 12%. True damage targets below 30% max health. With category 2 swaps with leech. Okay. Blood bank lifesteal per charge is decreased. 12% true damage is actually kind of a lot, but it's only at a low health targets, which makes it kind of mid. The base health regen is doubled. Well, like the regen steal and the radius is increased. That's kind of sick. That's kind of nice. But I believe it's on the same side as this lifesteal thing, so I don't know if it's actually good. Thorax damage reduction decreased from 12% to 8%. Now grants 8% damage reduction against all non-AoE attacks. Okay. 10 ultimate haste. What is it? Is Rallying Roar the... Let me go see which one that is, because I actually don't even know what the fuck that is. Casting your ultimate's the movement speed. Casting your ult gives you movement speed. Okay. That also gives you ultimate haste. That's kind of nice. Nile bonus damage decreased from 15 to 12%, but you get 5% Omni Vamp. That's pretty nice. Max health regen increased. That's also very nice. Crick's max health decreased significantly. Max health healing on units reduced, but you get 2 gold. That's actually kind of sick. That's pretty good. Max health regen increased per level now, not just flat. This will be probably really strong next patch. Health on takedown increase. It's like whatever. Idrisil missing health regen changed to scale with levels. Besh, guessing your ultimate now also gets you 100% cooldown progression for 3 seconds. Okay, this is when you cast your ult, you get a shield equal to your mana. So now it just gives you 100% cooldown for 3 seconds as well. I also subbed the Demiurge. The problem that Nile has is that you have to fight. It's like Lotus, where if you go Nile, you have to fight. You have to get takedowns. That's just how you have to use it. That's all. It's not terrible. It's ult counters passive. This is more like you proc ult and then your cooldowns just go faster for 3 seconds. Not kind of ult. No, its all abilities are 100% faster. Basically, you take 3 seconds off your abilities. Damage amp per unit increased from 0% to 0% plus 0.75 to 4% plus 0.6 per 10. At what point is this worse? It's like 120, it's worse. It's really good though. It's still really good. Minion monster damage decreased, now also stores 1%. Missing mana on unit to kill. Does not restore health though, which kind of sucks. Attack speed duration increased, dominance, healing on takedown increased. Base attacks now also heal you for 3% damage dealt, increased to 8% for critical strikes. Upon killing 150 units, get 20% crit chance and 5 crit damage. That seems really good. Damage decreased, but the health threshold changed from 85 to 80. As you do more damage to people that are above this threshold, which is kind of a buff because you have more chances to actually hit people above the threshold. Exarch would not trigger non-hit abilities. Who cares? Lotus bonus damage decrease from 1.7 to 1.5. Bonus health decrease from 2 to 1.5. Pretty big nerf. Early boon. Low threshold increase from level 12 to 13, or from level 10 to 12. So level 12 you go to 13. So, sure. So you lose the level 11 spike, which is kind of like the only thing this is relevant for. You get rank 2 ult. Okay, so that is significant nerf. Immaculate, damage reduction, health threshold decreased. Okay, so you get 20% reduction above 85%. Still really strong. Fragrance. Also, in place, use magic damage of 5% against nearby enemy heroes instead of just true damage. Bonus true damage decreased from 15 to 12%. This is pretty big for characters like Kwong and stuff like that. I should actually build it on non-true damage characters now. So, like, pretty much any magical bruiser. Shimby. A lot of characters that can actually get value out of this. That frees up a non-crit item for an ADC. Doesn't matter because you're going to go Demiurge on ADCs anyways. Bloatware on Demiurge. That gives you 0.5% per item. Also swap to the right side. Construct now grants 10 health plus 1.25 ability haste per level. Change from physical power to ability haste. But you get more HP. And it's also bloatware. Which I think makes this better. Let me go read Demiurge real quick.
I would love to sniff the face.
Because you can go Tricore and
God forbid that
bloatware.
man has some fucking
You could also go
interest.
crit to haste and construct.
So Refurpos.
I'm pretty sure this is a buff to some things. It's definitely a nerf to bloatware, but I don't think that matters. If you just aren't a character that's going bloatware anyways. So I feel like this is a buff. Ion. Magical power for buff kills, increase from 4 to 5. Health threshold for perfection. If you're above 85%, you get like 30 haste or something like that. Magic power based on current mana increased from 0.15% to 0.2, so you can go up to 20% instead of up to 15%. It's whatever. That relic's still really good. That thing. Your balance at L. Bonus movement speed decreased on the Q augment. Armor down, HP down. True damage decreased. Movement speed on the Q also decreased. And the cooldown increase on the Q. How about we reduce, how about we just remove true damage from the kit? That'd be pretty sick, right? Character's still gonna be really good. Acheron I expect to just be super buffed. Cooldown on his 1 decrease late game. Web damage decrease, but now it's 50% physical power scaling. So you can actually use scale with physical damage. Good. More power scaling on the right click, and now it does physical power scaling. Acheron's actually playable, maybe. Scales with 3.5% bonus physical power. Also has regular physical power scaling. Actually playable now. Huge. They need to add dark mode. Dude, they had dark mode, and I don't know why they removed it, but they used to have dark mode, and it annoys the hell out of me that they don't. Aurora, magical power scaling on her augment decreased for the wall. Width decreased, height decreased, root duration decreased. Good. Stop getting me fucking war crimed by this character. I'm so tired of seeing the wall, man. Hitbox decreased by 20% to match the VFX. Magic power scaling on the right click decreased. Good nerfs, honestly. Bale. Attack speed decreased on his passive, and movement speed decreased on his passive. Good. Fuck this character. Annoying as hell to kill. 50% magic power scaling on the Q. The bleed also scales by magical power. Sure. Dire Howl scales by magical power. Magical power. Omnivamp increased significantly. This is a huge buff. Massive buff to his Omnivamp. 4+1 per level. Like, increase is pretty significant. Right click, a little bit of scaling, a little bit of damage, more armor shred. Yep. This is actually like kind of pretty big buffs, I would say, to Bale. Specifically the Omnivamp. Worth taking ease back, probably. Oracy, probably going to get war crimed in the patch notes. Less health, less power. Core damage now also scales with 12% magical power. This for his passive. Movement speed now also scales with 15% magical power for his basic attacks. Okay. Oh no, this is on the Q. Okay. It is on the Q. They just fucking type patch notes wrong. Basic attacks, 5% less scaling is kind of significant. His 2 less base damage, and scales with magical power. Who cares? Prophecy Boris, question mark? The fuck was that song? Countess, physical armor down, mana down, max health damage on the passive reduced, 2 damage reduced, and the alt cooldown increased. Late game. Not nerfed enough, honestly. Cooldown on Drongo, down level 1. On rad rounds, right click, more damage late game, slow duration increased. Power scaling on the ult increased. Sick buff, sick buffs. Eden, 2 less power. Character's still gonna be nuts. Still gonna be nuts. I wonder if they nerfed her build at all. Fengmao, physical penning decreased on his passive. Reaping dash, cool. Current health damage decreased, good. Small nerfs, gadget, damage increase on the Q. Okay. And power damage increased as well, which is kind of sick. That's a pretty big buff. Not that she really needs it. Gideon, more damage on the right click. Sure. Okay, here's the thing with mages. They actually don't. I would rather them not have buffed mages and rather them nerfed other stuff. Like I don't know if I want them to buff stuff or nerf stuff this patch. I feel like I would have preferred them to just nerf stuff instead of buffing things, and then like buff things after if they needed to. Like I feel like this patch is trying to like kind of do both, and I feel like if they just had nerf things, that would have felt better than like buffing things, because I don't know, like I don't think these characters necessarily need to be buffed per se. They just need to be like slightly more playable due to the things that are abusable on the patch. Greystone, less armor, less health regen. That gets magical power scaling on the Q. 2 has more mana, sure. Ultimate scales with magical power. 100% magical power scaling is kind of funny. Percent max health healing now also scales with magical power as well. Not sure which magical power items you're building on Greystone, but I don't know. Bleed damage gives magical power. Less basic attack damage. That sucks. Right click healing decrease. That sucks. Physical power steal now also gives magical power. That's kind of funny. User AP scaling is for some reason leaves a bad taste. I don't know how I feel about that. What do you mean? No, it's not that they need damage buffs, Corgi. I just mean in the sense that like the reason mages are kind of like weak right now is because ADCs are so abusable. Like they're so strong. So like most mages lose early, like very hard, except for like a couple, which are just end up like stalemating lanes. So like rather than like buff mages per se, I think like nerfing this stuff that counters mages, which are like fast clearing junglers like Boris and like Sereth and stuff like that, that can like abuse gank mid lane and shit like that, and then also like ADCs being really strong. I would have rather seen I would have rather them nerfed ADCs than like buffed mages per se. I think is where I'm at. And like slightly nerf jungle, like make jungle clear a little bit slower, so it's not as like aids to just permagank mid and shit like that, without like losing any tempo, which is silly as fuck. But anyways, back to patch. Yeah, Greg slightly nerfed. So less healing, a little bit of magical power scaling. Howitzer, bonus power scaling on the basic attack. Actually, like quite a lot, bonus power attack scaling. Damage now scales 50% power on the missile. Landmine damage increased. Big Howie buffs. A lot of physical power scaling on the missile. Okay. Okay. Iggy and Scorch, missing health damage decreased. Damage is now correctly capped against monsters. Didn't know that was even a thing. HP down, physical armor growth down. Turret damage increased. Or no, turret melee damage modifier increased, so melees do more damage to turrets. Magical power scaling decreased slightly, so they're a little bit less tanky. Mana cost increased as well. Ultimate magical power scaling increased. That's pretty significant. 30% is pretty thick. Not sure it's gonna make them good though. Clary less damage on the right click. Cooldown on her 2 increased slightly. Doesn't really matter. Chimera health regen also scales with magical power. Maybe he'll actually be playable. Rage per basic attack increased. That'll help. Magical power scaling. Number of strikes increased by 1 for every 30 magical power. That's actually kind of interesting. That is actually an interesting thought. I don't know if that'll actually make you build it, but that is kind of interesting. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't have magical scaling auto attacks. If they gave his auto attacks magical scaling slightly, I think this would actually make him playable. But I don't know if the magical power will actually give you enough. But that is interesting. Invigorate, his 2 cooldown decreased. 3 seconds late game is kind of a lot, but I don't know if that matters. Right click, 5 more damage. Technically 10 more damage because it does more damage when people are low HP. Scaling on the ult with magical power. Cooldown decreased significantly late game. 40 seconds late game is kind of a lot. We build ult twice in a team fight. Kira, damage decreased on the right click. Cooldown decreased slightly early game, increased late game. Small Kira nerf. Kwong. Damage increased on the Q. The radius also increased, so you can get better tethers. Kind of cringe. Cooldown decreased as well. Big Kwong buffs. Definitely did not need buffs, but big Kwong buffs. Cooldown decreased on his 2. Damage increased on the 2 as well. You definitely did not need to be buffed like this. More physical power. Physical power scaling on the right click, not more. Regular physical power scaling. Nice. Damage multiplier on the heavy caliber augment decreased by 10%. Bonus attack speed decreased. Sure. Oh, this is the you get attack speed augment. Okay. Slight nerf to 2 of his augments. Physical power, growth decrease, mana, ballistic calibration. Missing HP damage on the right click at, I think it's 50 haste. Reduced by 2%, sure. Okay, rally point with not proc heal effects. Ultimate does less damage and has less scaling, sure. Melicon hit now also gives 12% physical bonus power. That's pretty sick. Auto attack Relica's back? Maybe. Bonus physical power scaling increased to 25%. This has technically hit you 3 times, so it's 75% scaling on our autos if you were to hit the whole thing. So that's kind of nice. Plus the on hit gives you another 12, so you go up to 87%, so you're actually like on par with most ADCs. Damage on the bomb increased by 10. Mako mana increased. Just mana issues. So mana's being better. Cost reduced on the Q. Cost reduced on the 2. Or sorry, cost increased on the 2. And then cost reduced early game on the right click. It just seems like they're trying to make Mako less mana hungry, sure. Damage increased on Morgesh Hive. Character still sucks. Narbash. Hopefully we killed this character. Healing decreased by 8 late game. Not sure that's enough. Magical power scaling increased. Yeah, I'm not sure that's enough. Song of My People regen decreased slightly. Yeah, I'm not sure it's enough to actually remove him from being in the meta, but character is very strong right now. He'll probably still be very strong next patch. Neon. More damage on the Q. Cooldown decreased on the Q, so you get it more often. Damage increased on the 2. Definitely did not need to buff this character again. Damage decreased slightly on the right click. This is again one of those things where, like, I would have preferred them maybe not to buff this character. They'd maybe, like, nerf the stuff that is strong against her. But I don't know. Bullet Throw now scales with magical power. Sure, movement speed now also scales with 10% magical power in his ultimate. Okay. But to be fast as fuck, boy. This also makes Nile like way more buildable and stuff like that. I hadn't even considered that on the characters that get magical power. First shot damage on monsters capped to 600 from 750. Less likely to smite your Fangtooth. Damage kills 30% physical power on the Zap augments. Armor decreased, armor growth decreased, health regen decreased. Damage increased with physical power, sure. Max health shield decreased. Dude, why are they nerfing Rick, man? They were nerfing Rick! How am I supposed to play support? Unplayable. Stun damage, stun duration decreased on the Seraph augment. On hit modifier decreased on the Q. And the old burn damage is decreased. Small Seraph nerfs. Sevarog, less HP. Health per stack decreased from 3 to 1. That's a pretty big nerf. Health per tier increased slightly. Health per tier increased from 40 to 160 to 50 to 400. Okay, that 160 spike is about to be hitting. You're not really stacking after that, but that's about to be a fucking chunky spike. Because it ends up being, this is all stacked, so it's like 400 max here on the left. It goes to 750, so you're getting extra 350. So until you're at, what is that, 175? So as long as you're below 175 stacks, you have more HP. Above 175 stacks, you have less HP. Max health steal decreased on the Q, cost increased on the Q, cost increased on the dash as well. That's pretty big nerfs to Sevarog, honestly. Should be physical power scaling, physical power scaling, physical power scaling, physical power scaling. Who cares? Damage increase on the 2. Not by much. Damage increased on the dash as well. Not by much. Very, very small changes to Shimby. Sparrow, max health damage decreased per stack. Physical power decreased, health decreased. Physical power scaling decreased on the 2. Her 3 does less damage but has more scaling, so stronger late game. And the ult has more scaling. Okay, very small changes to Sparrow. I think this is overall a nerf, though. Losing the max HP per stack kind of sucks. It's like a big buff to the character, especially in like this tankier meta. Please super buff Shimby. Shimby's good. You could play Shimby right now. What do you mean? Terra, armor scaling decreased. Part max health damage decreased. Her dash, less armor scaling, max damage scaling decreased. Okay. The Fae healing augment nerfed. Say like super heavily. Damage increased on the Bramble though. Not sure that matters. Physical power scaling on Twin Blast is nice on the Q. Grenade scaling also increased. Max health damage reduced on Wraith. Knock damage decreased by 10%. Magical scaling decreased by 5%. This is pretty big nerf. That's good. About time. Yin, less HP. Needs another stack to get her passive again. This is a revert. She also has a lot less attack speed early game per stack. Basic attack decreased by 5%. Magical power on the Q. Max health damage decreased. That's good. Magical power scaling on the 3 doesn't matter. Ure damage decreased on the Q. Physical power scaling decreased by 10%. That's a pretty big nerf. Physical power scaling on the 2 decreased. Self slow increased on the ult, so you can walk out of it a little faster, and a little bit cooldown increased. Good Ure nerfs, bro. Fuck that character. I hate that. I hate that bitch, bro. God damn, I hate that fucking character. Please just rework the dash, man. So you can actually properly balance the character. Cooldown decreased on Zara's Q. A little bit of power growth per level is kind of nice as well. Attack speed increase on the dash. Also scales with magical power. 25% reduced damage to monsters. This is actually a fucking W change. Good change. Massive change. Good change. Damage increased slightly. Late game. Physical power scaling increased. Now scales of magical power. Why are we buffing Zarus exactly? Zarus is actually very playable right now. He does not need buffs, much less this many buffs. More physical power scaling on the ults, slightly longer cooldown, and more damage on the ult. Definitely did not need that. Healing from the heal augment decreased by 5%. Projectile hitbox on the Q increased. Cast frame decreased from 6 to 4.65, sure. Whew. Add of heroes, dude. It's a lot of hero shit. I want original yin ult back. What is original yin ult? Is this the patch PCC is played on? Yes. I believe all 3 weeks are played on this patch. I could be wrong, though. The last week might be a different patch. But I'm pretty sure all 3 weeks are on this patch. Refill of a potion. Updated to state the actual healing. They nerfed this healing like a long time ago. I forget when. But I guess I just didn't update the tooltips. I think it was like 4 patches ago or something. Razorback, bonus armor is decreased. Cooldown increased. Sure. Broadsword, armor shred increased back to 4.5%. That's good. Sky Splitter, lifesteal increased by 1%, and the current health damage decreased slightly. Pretty big nerf to Sky Splitter. Stormbreaker attack speed decreased. Viper, they're buffing the shred to align correctly with thing. Viper was not shredding armor correctly, so it just wasn't shredding armor to begin with, but fixed the way that it was working. Physical pen on Deathstalker increased slightly. Infernum, max HP damage increased. It might actually be a buildable item now for most characters. Right now, there's very few characters that actually get good value out of it. There's like maybe 3 characters that can build it. Now it might open it up to more. Tell you a good game from Shimby lately. I could literally just show you. The character's good right now. Omnivamp from Nightfall increased. That's nice. Augmentation. Ability haste back to 20. Physical power. True damage. Increase from 80 to 90. That's a pretty big buff. Basilisk. Armor Shred matching the tier 2. Physical power increased on Mutilator. Omnivamp increased on Mutilator as well. Good item. Solstice. Damage decreased by 5%. Technically 10 because it does double damage. Carapace, 5 extra power, 25 extra health, doesn't matter. Orb of Growth, gets an extra 50 mana, or gets 50 less mana. Orb of Enlightenment, less power per level, that's actually a pretty big nerf. So it was, I believe, like 135, and that'll put it to like 117. Which makes it a lot less competitive with like a Zercore as like a damage item. So it's kind of a big nerf. Curse Scroll, health scaling decreased. It would trigger on cleave damage, which could result in the user taking excessive damage. That's kind of AIDS. Base health regen decreased. Okay, that's all the item changes actually. That's not that very many item changes. I'm surprised. ARAM, don't care about ARAM. Nitro, don't care about those. Any big bug fixes? Fix the infinite loading screen. Fix the replay having no health bars. That's good. Sarah could temporarily become stuck inside an enemy hero. Should get stuck inside me. Nobody heard that. That wasn't me. I didn't say that. I was reading a chat comment. It wasn't me. Hello, Zuzu. Hello, Unhinged. New patch. It's just patch notes for Tuesday. This patch is on Tuesday, the 10th, 9th, the 9th. New emotes coming. W. Yeah. That's the patch. There we go. Everybody say goodbye to YouTube. Hit him with the little meow. I appreciate everybody on YouTube watching if you're watching. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're watching on Twitch, even more W. If you don't watch it at all, fuck you. But if you're here, you're watching, so that's a dub. Anyways, that's it.